happened?
Hi, and welcome back to Hot Convicts, the web's sexiest resource for women in trouble with the law. I'm your host, Karen, and this week we're going to be talking about former Melrose Place actress Heather Locklear. She was arrested on February 25th by the Ventura County Sheriff's Office after a 10 p.m. 911 call from her residence. Locklear, 56, was booked into jail at 1:05 a.m. last Monday on charges of felony domestic battery and 3 counts of misdemeanor battery on a police officer. She bonded out just before 6 a.m. after posting $20,000 bail and has her first court appearance on these charges on March 13th. This is not the first time Locklear's been in trouble for domestic violence. In 2011, police were called to the home of her then boyfriend, Jack Wagner, after the two got into a physical altercation. Neither pressed charges then, so the matter was dropped. We'll see what happens at court next week and post on that on this website. Moving on to former Oklahoma middle school teacher Jennifer Caswell. She was arrested in June 2014 for having sex several times with an underage student from her school and was sentenced in August 2015 to 15 years in prison with 5 suspended on each count, making her earliest parole date sometime in 2024. On August 14, 2017, a federal judge in Oklahoma City ruled that Caswell owes the former student $1 million for severe emotional distress, a decision which is certain to be appealed. Caswell is still serving her sentence in the Oklahoma prison system. Moving on to Angelica Groswald, a Latvian national, was sentenced November 8th to a prison term of 1 1/3 to 4 years in the state prison in connection with the death of her fiancé on a kayaking trip on the Hudson River on April 19, 2015. Prosecutors contended she did it to collect on the $250,000 life insurance policy her fiancé took out just before his death. Kelsey McCarter, the 27-year-old wife of a high school football coach in Knoxville, Tennessee, pleaded guilty on September 25, 2017 to 6 counts of statutory rape and 1 count of sexual exploitation of a minor, thus avoiding a possible 38 prison sentence. She had been charged with having sex with one of her husband's players repeatedly, and her husband stood by her side throughout her arrest and sentencings. McCarter is still in prison in Tennessee serving her sentence. Amanda Wayda, 20, was arrested August 30th, 2016 in connection with the death of a former boyfriend who was killed by 2 other males, friends, while driving in Pennsylvania in August 2016. On November 24th, Wayda was sentenced to a prison term of 15 to 40 years for the crime in which 21-year-old Joshua Rose was strangled with jumper cables and suffocated in a plastic bag while the 2 men repeatedly overdosing in the back of their truck. The photos shown are from her jail booking as well as her page on Facebook. Wayda is serving her sentence in a Pennsylvania prison. That's it for the women in prison today, but look for more in our next show. We will close with women on death row in Tennessee who has been waiting execution since 1996. Krista Pike, a former Job Corps student in that state, was convicted at the young age of 20 on March 22, 1996, and sentenced to death by electrocution on March 30, 1996, for the murder of fellow Corps student Colleen Slemmer. Her latest appeals have been rejected, but so far she has not received a new execution date. In addition, Tennessee's governor has signed a measure allowing her to face death in the electric chair if lethal injection drugs are unavailable. The latest status of Pike is that she is still on death row pending future appeals. During the crime, Pike carved a pentagram into the victim's chest and took part of her skull as a trophy. A male accomplice was sentenced to prison as well, but not given the death penalty. That's it for this week. Please keep up with us on our website at hotconvicts.com. We have the latest updates, and we'll see you next time.